everyone, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to today's session. Sat Shri Akal, Namaskar, Bonjour, Adab. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine and amazingly well. Let's get started with another session of our chapter of working of institutions. This is our third session. इसके पहले हमने दो sessions already who are the decision makers एक कर लिया है. दूसरा last session में हमने parliament की discussion करी थी. आज we're going to talk about the political executives in India. Let me quickly introduce myself. Hi बच्चों, मेरा नाम अंकना है and I am your expert for social sciences. As you can see, I have been associated with the sector of education for more than 9 years now, wherein I have taught both online and offline to the students of CBSE and ICSE, specializing in social sciences and English. Talking about the chapter बच्चे इन सारे टॉपिक्स में बटा हुआ है. पॉलिटिकल इंस्टीट्यूशन जो हो चुका है फर्स्ट सेशन में, लास्ट सेशन में पार्लियामेंट इन इंडिया करा हमने. आज हम कर रहे हैं पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव इन इंडिया एंड देन द लास्ट सेशन विल बी ऑफ जुडिशरी इन इंडिया. दिस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक इज गोइंग टू टेक 2 सेशंस. ये 2 सेशन में कवर होगा. कॉन्सेप्ट्स आज हम करने वाले हैं. एग्जीक्यूटिव ब्रांच ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव, परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन देम, हु इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट, Prime Minister of India and the powers of the Prime Minister of India. So let's get started. Council of Ministers will not be discussed today. It will be discussed in the next session. So there will be times where you will be listening to the term COM, Council of Ministers. पिछले session में भी किया था हमने, but वो detail में will be discussing in the next session. So you don't have to worry, right? Hi Badal. अच्छा नहीं किया क्या? I did read your message, but probably I forgot. Okay, let's see who all do we have over here. Hi Anjali. Hi Yashika. Hi Soumya. Good evening. जितने भी सारे बच्चे हैं जल्दी जल्दी हाई लिख दो चैट में. क्विकली गो हेड, राइट व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू राइट. हाय, हेलो, so that I can acknowledge your presence and greet you as well. Hi Nidhi Pathak, good evening बच्चे. So let's start with a quick recap of the previous session. In the previous session बच्चे we read about the parliament. So our parliament basically includes of 3 entities. It has the 2 houses of parliament, which is your Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And the third one, President. President is also a part of the parliament. President is not a part of any of the house, be it Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हमने देखा कि सुप्रीम बॉडी होती है लेजिस्लेशन की. कौन सी? पार्लियामेंट, which means the law making body, right? मोहम्मद रेहान, good evening, welcome. It also oversees everything. It looks after the finances, the governance, has the debates and discussions and negotiations, and hence form the laws, the programs and the schemes with which the government is run. The nation is governed. ठीक है, houses की बात करी जाए तो we have 2 houses. राज्य सभा पहला है which has 245 members. The members are indirectly elected. It is a permanent house. It doesn't get dissolved. Every 2 years, 1/3 of the members, they retire from the Rajya Sabha, right? Correct? लोक सभा में 543 members होते हैं. डायरेक्ट इलेक्शन होती है, which means we directly vote for the members over there. It is subject to dissolution, which means every 5 years, or whenever, let's just say if the term gets over before, without getting finished and elections are supposed to happen, Lok Sabha will get dissolved and fresh elections के साथ, based on the new results, new people will be appointed to Lok Sabha. ठीक है? Hi Shreya, good evening. लोक सभा की पावर्स हमने देखी थोड़ी सी ज्यादा है राज्य सभा से. मोटा मोटा दोनों जगह सेम है, बट फ्यू चीजों में, इन फ्यू थिंग्स, बिकॉज द पीपल आर डायरेक्टली इलेक्टेड इन लोक सभा, दे हैव अन अपर हैंड. जैसे कि फाइनेंशियल बिल्स, मनी बिल्स सिर्फ लोक सभा से पास हो सकते हैं. नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन कैन ओनली स्टार्ट फ्रॉम लोक सभा. ठीक है, प्राइमरी लेजिस्लेशन होती है, प्राइमरी हाउस होता है, फाइनेंस एंड गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटी होती है. पीएम का सिलेक्शन भी यही होता है, और डिसमिसल, अगर आपको मिनिस्टर्स को हटाना है, नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन पास करना है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर को हटाना है, वो भी लोक सभा में होता है. दैट इज व्हाट दीज आर द एक्स्ट्रा पावर्स कंपेयर्ड टू राज्य सभा. देन इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द इंपॉर्टेंस, वी सॉ दैट रिप्रेजेंट्स पीपल्स विल एंड एग्जीक्यूट्स क्रूशियल गवर्नेंस फंक्शंस. ये सब कुछ कहाँ पे हो रहा है? ये सब हमारा हो रहा है लोकसभा में. तो शुरू करते हैं आज का सेशन और बात करते हैं एग्जीक्यूटिव्स, द सेकंड बॉडी हु एग्जीक्यूट्स द लॉज दैट इज क्रिएटेड एंड मेड, राइट? हाय राधिका, गुड इवनिंग. So guys, now that we are getting started, क्योंकि आज हम executives करने वाले हैं, we'll also talk about the difference between the political and permanent executives. Please make sure that you have shared this video with your friends and inform them that ma'am is live and getting started. Very very important and also quite confusing हो जाता है this portion of the chapter. Very important for all of us to attend. Get everyone that you can. Let's get started. Our parliament is like a beehive, where the prime minister is the queen bee and the Council of Ministers are the worker bees. Did you know that the executive building of the Parliament House in the New Zealand is called the beehive? It actually is referred to as a beehive. So let us look at our Indian beehive, the parliamentary system, and learn about the role and the power of Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers not so much, Prime Minister will be primarily focusing on. तो सबसे पहले समझते हैं एग्जीक्यूटिव ब्रांच ऑफ इंडिया. बच्चे एग्जीक्यूटिव का काम क्या है? There are certain lawmakers who have created the law, but now somebody will have to take the steps to also implement the laws. For example, if a reservation of 27% of seats have to be done for a certain segment of the society, who is going to take care of it on the ground level? Who is going to do the action to make sure that it is happening? It will be the executives who will make the certain rules, certain provisions, conditions in which it can be implemented. ऐसे executives हमारे इंडिया में, these kind of executives, we have two kind of executives in India in order to take care of this, right? Amazing, Radhika, wonderful, thank you so much. तो इंडिया में बच्चे ऐसे दो तरह के executives हैं, one permanent, the other political. The difference and who are they and their powers we're going to understand today. So composition की अगर बात की जाए, functionaries responsible for implementing government policies and decisions. So who are the people who make the executive branch? Executive branch is created by the people who execute, who implement the law which has been created by the legislature, the law-making body of India. If you talk about the hierarchy, the order of ranking, multiple levels with functionaries execute day-to-day decision without holding supreme power. So there are different branches. It's not like there is one head of executive and the others are lower. Day to day, हर कोई अपने अपने field में, because there are multiple fields. Somebody is working in defense, somebody is working in training and personnel department, somebody is working in human resource department, somebody is working in rural development department, somebody is working in human resource department. So everyone on the similar role is there in different departments working on day to day, be it the ministers or be it the other IS officers, administrative officers, who are working day in day out to implement the rules and regulations that is created by the lawmakers. ठीक है? Role क्या है इनका, काम क्या है? Collectively referred to as the executive due to their very important role, pivotal role, very important role, right? In policy execution and administration. Hi Yashashwini, long time no see. Where were you for all this time? काफी टाइम बाद आए आप सेशन में. तो इनका काम सिंपली इन सिंपल टर्म्स में जो हमने यहाँ पे भी पढ़ा, they just have to look after implementation of the laws which has been created properly. ठीक है? फीचर्स की बात की जाए तो elected officials are chosen by the public for specific term. Who are we talking about? तो अभी तक हम यहाँ पे देख रहे थे इन जनरल एग्जीक्यूटिव्स कौन होते हैं. ठीक है? अब हम समझेंगे द टू एग्जीक्यूटिव्स इंडिविजुअली. तो बच्चे एग्जीक्यूटिव्स में दो तरह के एग्जीक्यूटिव्स होते हैं. एक हमारे होते हैं और दूसरे हमारे होते हैं परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव्स. ठीक है? तो हमारे पास दो तरह के एग्जीक्यूटिव्स होते हैं, पॉलिटिकल एंड परमानेंट. So first we will start with the political executives. What do we mean by the political executives? Political executives basically refers to the ministers. ठीक है, किसको रेफर करें? Ministers. अब you may get confused that ma'am, ministers were making the laws. So they were a part of legislature. But how have they come here? So बच्चे ministers, the representative, public representatives, ठीक है, जिन भी नेताओं को हम अपना वोट देकर चुनते हैं, वो दो रोल प्ले करते हैं. They play two roles. One of making the law and also to some extent implementing the law. वो लॉ बनाते भी हैं और उस लॉ को एग्जीक्यूट करवाना भी उनका थोड़ा काम होता है. ये दोनों चीजें जो हैं उनकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है. So first they create the law, there they act as the part of the legislature. Second, they implement the law where they act as the executive. So who are these people? These are the ministers. These are the people who are directly elected by the citizens of the nation. ठीक है? तो ये elected officials है जो चुने जाते हैं लोगों के द्वारा for a specified term. What is difference? What is the major difference between political executive and permanent executive? Permanent executive, the name in itself tells us कि वो permanent है till they retire. Political executive have a fixed term. What is this fixed term? This fixed term is 5 years. अगर जो है इनका रूल 5 साल के पहले खत्म हो जाता है तो अलग बात है, but till the next election happens, they will be in power that people have chosen them for. Okay? They hold the authority to make the major policy decisions affecting the nation. That is their responsibility. So once the rules are made, how to implement these rules, what needs to be done in order to implement these rules, these major decisions are taken by the political executives. इनके orders पे what needs to be done next is taken care by the permanent executive. यानी कि जो हमारे administrative officers होते हैं वो, they are answerable to the citizens for the decisions and actions. ये जो भी डिसाइड कर रहे हैं, जो भी कर रहे हैं, उसका सीधा जवाब इनको किसको देना है? They are not answerable to anybody else but directly to the citizens. But the permanent executives will be answerable to the political executive. ठीक है? So political executive are basically the public representative. Now talking about the permanent executive, it will comprise of your civil servants appointed on a long term basis. तो यहाँ पे हमें क्या देखने को मिल रहा है? No fixed short term. कोई भी छोटे समय के लिए फिक्स्ड अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं हो रही है. इट्स अ लॉन्ग टर्म अपॉइंटमेंट टिल दे ईदर चूज टू लीव और टिल दे रिटायर. लंबा समय है. ठीक है. व्हाट इज देयर फंक्शन? दे असिस्ट द पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव इन द एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ पॉलिसीज एंड डेली एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव टास्क्स. So their point is basically to give suggestions, advices, support with the technical knowledge to the political executive, the ministers. Retains position despite changes in ruling parties, ensuring institutional stability. So executive department is constant because of these officers. The political executives keeps changing every 5 years or maybe 10 years. ठीक है. जब जब मिनिस्टर्स इलेक्ट होंगे वही पोर्टफोलियो लेंगे, वो आएंगे, वरना वो चले जाएंगे. सो दीज आर द पीपल हु आर परमानेंट. द पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव्स आर नॉट परमानेंट. बट द क्वेश्चन इज, why are political executives more powerful than the permanent executive? This is the most important part that we have to understand. Now, bacha, understand what is happening. You might have seen in movies, might have seen in reality, that despite of the fact that it takes so much of hard work to crack an examination like UPSC for the civil servants, they are the expertise, they have the expertise of various subjects, they have the knowledge of the various subjects because they have read so much, they are well read, they are well qualified. Not anyone and everyone can become a political permanent executive. कोई भी civil servant नहीं बन सकता है. बहुत पढ़ाई करनी पड़ती है, एग्जाम क्वालिफाई करना होता है, इंटरव्यूज क्वालिफाई करने पड़ते हैं, तब आप जाकर के सिविल सर्वेंट बनते हो. Despite of that, they are not the final decision makers. They don't make the main decisions. Who makes the main decisions? The political executive makes the main decision. But a lot of times these political executives may not be even educated. Forget not be an expert of the subject. हो सकता है वो पढ़े लिखे ही ना. For example, I become a railway minister. Let's say I've only done my studies till 8th standard. So I'm not really educated. I can do basic reading and writing, but I'm not very well knowledge or have any expertise in the field of railways. But I am the railway minister because my people chose me as their representative. Now, if I have become the railway minister, whatever changes I do, I will not have the best knowledge of that subject. And this happens a lot of times. This often happens. That is why executive has the permanent executives, which provides the expert suggestion, support and advices and counsel to the political executives who may or may not have any knowledge about the subject or the portfolio or the ministry that they are a part of. Right? So think about the political executives as the guest. Okay? But they are the permanent residents. But they take care of the guest because the guest is Atiti Devo Bhava. Guest is like God, right? And why are they God? Why are they being treated as the final, not God, but why are they treated as the final decision maker? It may come as a question to us, right? Hi Baba, good evening, welcome. तो हमें कई बार ऐसा लग सकता है कि यार इनको तो लोगों ने वोट करके लाया है. पढ़े लिखे भी नहीं है, they're not very well read, they don't know everything about it. So why do they have the final take? Why are they given more power? Why are they kind of subordinate or inferior to the political executives when they are more well read, when they have more expertise, they have been working for so long, Why? Because bache, we stay in a democracy, and the supreme power in a democracy is the citizen. And the political executives are elected representatives of the citizens who are the supreme power. So, citizens are the supreme power, then only their representative naturally becomes the superior one in terms of decision making. Decision making अपने आप लोगों की जो representative होते हैं उनके पास ही ज़्यादा चला जाता है, and they are always answerable to the people for all the results and the consequences for the decision that they have made. उन्होंने जो डिसीजन लिया उससे क्या अच्छा हुआ क्या बुरा हुआ सारी जवाबदेही वो सिटीजन्स की तरफ होगी. But while making this decision, they are always provided with a support system which will help them not make mistakes or lessen the mistakes. So permanent executives उनके support के लिए होते हैं because they have the knowledge, they have the expertise, they know what they are doing, they are the experts, they have the skill. और उस सारे suggestion से वो advice देते हैं political executive को कि क्या सही होगा क्या नहीं होगा, and then they can make the decision to which they will be answerable to the people. So in a democracy, the representative of the citizens, because citizens are the center and they are the most superior, will always be superior in decision making. इसीलिए सारे डिसीजन पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव के होते हैं, परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव्स के नहीं होते. ठीक है, दैट वाज द फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकंड, you might have heard that there are IS officers, but they are known as a secretary. It may sound a little demeaning to you, but by secretary, what is basically meant is a counsel, a suggestion giver, a well-wisher. So all of the ministers are given a secretary who is actually an IS officer. These secretaries of these ministries are the experts with the superior knowledge and technicalities of those subjects and all those fields which the minister may not have. For example, the advisor, the secretary of finance ministry may be way more knowledgeable than the finance minister himself in terms of economics. That is why the advisor will always help the finance minister, whoever it is, whenever it is, to find and make informed decisions, informed laws and execute it accordingly. ठीक है, आर्यन राज. ठीक है, सिमिलरली बच्चे तो क्या हुआ, परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव दे क्वालिफाई प्रेस्टिजियस सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन टू बी अपॉइंटेड, whereas a political executive just gets voted by the people and is appointed as a public representative based on the result of the election. They have the knowledge and expertise of the subjects of the departments they are working in. They may have some knowledge or may not have any knowledge at all, right? So जैसे defense, health science, they require a lot of technical knowledge. They may lack it. Who will help them? The permanent executive will help them, and the final decision will be made by the political executive. ठीक है, तो चलो अब इसी बात पे क्विज क्वेश्चन कर लेते हैं. Any government has officials who make a day-to-day decision, yet may not always act in the best interest of the people at various levels. The executive is the collective term for all those employees. Because they are responsible for the execution of government policies, they are referred as the executive. Which of the following is an example of a permanent executive? Political leader, member of parliament, civil servant or council of ministers. Permanent executive का example बताना है. ठीक है? Yes, Ashwini, I'll have a look at it. Thank you so much for bringing it into attention. Okay. And we have Anjali, Radhika, Shreya, Tushant have answered absolutely correct in perfect timing. Dhanush, Yashika, Tanmay have also taken an attempt. Soumya has taken an attempt. Good job, guys. It will be the civil servants. Civil servants are permanent executive. The IAS officers, administrative officers, right? ये permanent executives होते हैं, ठीक है? चलो एक एग्जाम्पल है IS ऑफिसर्स का. Now talking about the prime minister. Now India, as you know, has a presidential form of, a parliamentary form of government, not a presidential. ठीक है, parliamentary form of government is where the parliament and the head of the parliament, who is the prime minister, is the actual head. The president is more of a nominal head. Nominal head as in for formality. They don't have the actual real powers. Okay? The actual real powers will lie with the prime minister. Presidential form of government, which is in US for example, there the president is the actual head and will also have the actual powers to exercise and run the government. They're not nominal. Okay? So how is the prime minister appointed? But elections that happen in India, they do not directly elect the prime minister. They elect the party which is supposed to form the government in the Lok Sabha. And then the party chooses who will be their leader and that leader becomes the prime minister. So हम prime minister को नहीं चुनते हैं, हम ruling party को चुनते हैं. So it is appointed by the president, typically the leader of the majority party or coalition in the Lok Sabha. So the party wins. The party will give their suggestion. The party will basically let the president know that this is the person we are choosing as leader. Then the president will go and invite that person to come and join as prime minister. Okay? Tenure. How long does a person stay as a prime minister? As long as the next election happens. So the term in India is 5 years. Okay? If they get re-elected, like how it happened with Mr. Narendra Modi, ठीक है, तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी के साथ कैसे हुआ, दूसरी बार भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर इलेक्ट हो गए. उसके पहले मनमोहन सिंह जी के साथ भी वैसा हुआ था कि 2 बार प्राइम मिनिस्टर इलेक्ट हो गए थे. ठीक है, तो अगर ऐसा होता है तो अलग बात है, बट टर्म क्या है, 5 years. इफ दे फिनिश 5 years, then elections will happen again. In terms of the authority, suggests and advises the president on the appointment of other ministers. So there are multiple functions, we'll read about it, but what authority, what power does he have? He is the main decision maker. Okay? He is the head of the council of ministers. All the ministers, prime minister will be, he or she will be the head, and also will make advices and suggestions to the president to choose who will be which minister, who will be the railway minister, who will be the defense minister, who will be what. Also choosing other important positions, उसमें भी suggestion लगता है prime minister का, like the chief justice of India, like the election commissioner of India. All of these things are done on the suggestion of the prime minister by the president. Scope. What is the range of the work? Exercises extensive powers including being the head of the cabinet meetings as in meetings of all the ministers. Okay? And coordinating interdepartmental tasks. There are different departments, there are different ministries, right? Railways, defense, external affairs, human resources, development, falana dhimkana. They will coordinate with all the departments. They supervisory role. As a supervisor, as a head, what does he look after? What does she look after? Okay? Holds general supervision on various ministries, resolves disputes between departments. If 2 ministers or ministries are having some conflict, some argument, some disagreement, 2 ministers में या उनकी ministries में कोई दिक्कत आ रही है, that resolution is given by the prime minister. He is the head of all the ministers. सारे ministers का जो leader है वो हमारे prime minister ही होंगे. Allocates responsibilities among ministers and possesses the authority to dismiss them. So the power of, if he wants that, okay, I want to change the railway minister, I want to change the external affairs minister, let's dismiss this person, get some other person. That power lies with the prime minister. Okay? Prime minister has also the power to give duties and responsibilities to other ministers. दूसरे ministers का क्या काम होगा, उनकी क्या duty है. You can imagine this person is the monitor of the group and the other group members are following the monitor. So that is the role of the prime minister. ठीक है? Babar, I'm sure you will score 100 out of 100 and I'm super glad to hear about you and your sister's performance. So proud. Okay, let's quickly answer this quiz question. Prime Minister remains in power as long as they support the president, maintain majority support in Lok Sabha, make laws or none of the above. तो लोक सभा का हमने थोड़ा सा पढ़ा था, no confidence motion वाला. वैसे तो I have given you the answer itself. वहां से आपको याद करना है. Anjali, Shreya, Tushant have answered absolutely correct in perfect timing. Wonderful. Anjali Bisht has also answered correctly. Radhika and Yashika have taken an attempt. Dhanush, I'm waiting for you to answer. So guys, they maintain majority support as long as they are in majority in Lok Sabha. They will remain as the Prime Minister. And of course, they have to finish the term. But before finishing the term, if they lose the support in Lok Sabha, then also their tenure is over. कहानी खत्म हो जाती है. ठीक है? चलो. Now, what are the limitations with the Prime Minister? Despite a lot of authority, the Prime Minister decision may be influenced by the dynamics of coalition politics and the need to accommodate various factions and alliances. So, if one party alone has not formed the government, and there are multiple parties who have come together and formed a coalition government, right? यानी कि गठबंधन की सरकार बनाई है. There was no one party which was in complete majority. They had to shake hands with other parties and then form the government. In this case, whoever becomes the prime minister, in order to remain in the power for the next 5 years and maintain the government, maintain the rule being in majority, they will also have to take care of the other party's demands. So maybe let's say there is party A and B. Okay? They formed a coalition. The Prime Minister is from Party A. Party A wants something which Party B is not in agreement in, and there's a slight conflict over there. Okay, slight disagreement over there. So the PM will now have to act in such a way that this conflict is resolved, which may be not doing what they wanted to do, so that Party B doesn't get upset with them and withdraw their support and their government crashes. तो इनको कई बार जो है, अगर कोलिशन में है, अगर गठबंधन की सरकार है, दूसरे पार्टी की मदद से बने हैं, तो उसको भी जो है नज़रिए में लेके चलना पड़ता है. डिस्पाइट ऑफ हैविंग ऑल ऑफ दिस पावर, वो लिमिटेशन बन जाती है डिसीजन मेकिंग में. वरना दूसरी पार्टी अगर नाराज़ हो गई तो वो अपना सपोर्ट विड्रॉ कर लेगी और सरकार गिर जाएगी, तो फिर प्राइम मिनिस्टर रहोगे ही नहीं आप. ठीक है, तो ये थोड़ा सा लिमिटेशन कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट में हो जाता है. बट दिस इज ऑल्सो गुड that only one party will not do whatever they alone want to do. तो historical context में हमने देखा है, some prime ministers in India like Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, they wielded substantial power due to personal influence and political circumstances. So there have been instances that they were such a huge dynamic personality themselves that they alone did whatever they wanted to do and Lok Sabha was supporting them. In fact, if you know or not, I'm not sure, but a no confidence motion was in fact started against Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. ठीक है, चलो इसी बात पे next question. The Prime Minister's decision may be influenced by the dynamics of coalition politics. Is this statement true or is this statement false? Okay, Dhanush, Radhika, Shreya, Tushant, absolutely correct answer in perfect timing. Good job. Anjali, Bish, Yashika, Tanmay have also answered correctly. Anjali bachi hui hai. This statement is absolutely true. Otherwise, we know that their government may crash, right? The support will be withdrawn, so they have to keep everyone happy. ठीक है, चलो तो अब इसी के साथ समराइज कर लेते हैं हमने क्या किया आज. Government of India's executive branch is what we spoke about. The work of the executives is to basically take care of execution of or implementation of the laws that is made. The legislature, the lawmakers also are a part of executive as political executives. There are two kinds of executives that we have, the political executives and the permanent executives. Political executives are the public representatives who are there for a fixed tenure of 5 years or lesser if they do not finish the tenure, or more if they get re-elected. Permanent executives are the administrative officers, the civil servants who get there by qualifying examinations and not through any elections, unlike the political executive. They implement policies, ठीक है. Then Prime Minister के बारे में हमने पढ़ा, who leads the cabinet and supervises ministries based on major support. Powers, Prime Minister holds authority over policy decisions and cabinet leadership influenced by coalition dynamics. ठीक है. So it is certainly a lot of effort to run a democracy, but can the structure hold the largest democracy together? Who are the other people involved in the process of decision making and running the government? That we are going to understand on our session that will be held on Tuesday. In our session that will be held on Tuesday. So guys, please make sure that you go on the Imbibe app, website, whatever you are using. If you have not already created an account, get registered, create your account. Take care, Babar, Aryan. I'm hoping you guys do that because you don't have to pay for it. It's just absolutely free. और यहाँ पे होम में जाना है आपको और इम्बाइब लाइव क्लास पे जाना है, ठीक है. तो जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो दैट दिस इज द सेशन दैट वी हैव गोइंग ऑन राइट नाउ. ये हमारा सेशन है जो अभी चल रहा है, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट सेशन हमारा 21 नवंबर को आने वाला है 6 बजे. प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू आर रजिस्टर्ड. लेट मी क्विकली शो यू अदर सेशंस दैट्स गोना कम. तो जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो, the Judiciary of India is what we will be doing on 22nd of November 6 p.m. All you have to do is just go and click on registered now. Registered now पे click करना है और अपने आप को register कर देना है. Simple as that. And do not forget to check out the Imbibe Lens app and join our Telegram channel. हमारा Telegram channel भी आपको ज़रूर से join कर लेना है. इसी के साथ I'm going to wind up this session today. Thank you so much for being here. I think this chapter is very light but slightly confusing, a little confusing in places. तो आज permanent और political executive वाला confusion हमने कर लिया resolve. Next session में we'll talk about the Council of Ministers, the President, Vice President and their powers. तो मिलते हैं अगले session में बच्चों. Have a great weekend till then. Have a great evening. Take good care of yourself, your loved ones. Hasta vista, bye-bye, ciao. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe the channel. And stay tuned. Make sure you're registered for the next session. And stay tuned, guys. Keep imbibing.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.